Are professional consultancy services expensive in your country?
They are indeed. These agencies charge top dollars for their services, but in return they deliver quite satisfactory results. Most of them are international firms, like Ernst & Young, Deloitte, or PwC, with decades of expertise and experience. Vietnamese firms often fail to compete with them at the top rungs of the ladder, so they focus mostly on small and medium companies at more affordable rates. They may earn less, but the scale of the market is huge, so many are still profitable.
Do you think the advice parents give their children is always good?
Of course not. Parents give advice based on their own life experience, so it can't always be applicable to their children who are from a different generation. The social context children grow up in is also distinct from that of their parents. Take career advice as an example. Many parents want their kids to have a secure career in a traditional line of work like medicine or education, but in this day and age, these are not always the best choice. E-commerce or being a social media influencer could totally be more fruitful, at least pay-wise.
Why do some people like to ask others for advice on almost everything?
Probably because they're too indecisive, I suppose. Some people don't really know what they want and thus struggle to make up their mind. Others suffer from analysis paralysis, which happens when they overanalyze everything. But in other cases, they just want to confirm their already made decision by seeing how many choose a similar course of action.
Why are many young people unwilling to follow their parents' advice?
A lot of youngsters like to make their own decisions. Maybe they think they know better than their parents, or they just want to live life on their own terms without being told what to do. Like when it comes to big life-altering decisions like which universities to attend or which careers to pursue, young people rightfully deserve to have the ultimate say. But at the end of the day, it's their life and they have to take full ownership of it. Of course, many are simply too stubborn and rebellious to listen to anybody, including their parents.
What kind of advice do people need the most?
This is such an intriguing question. Relationship advice seems to be most in demand, I guess. There's even a whole industry dedicated to this with dating coaches, marriage counselors, therapists, and so on. It actually makes a lot of sense since we all have trouble navigating our relationships at times, especially romantic interests. In recent years, there's also a surge in online advice on how to live a meaningful life. Modern society often confers a feeling of meaninglessness, as there's no big war to fight and no collective purpose to aspire to. That's why young people, particularly young men, are desperate for such guidance.
Why is negative feedback as important as positive feedback at work or in study?
Simply put, negative feedback makes you aware of your own weaknesses and shortcomings so that you could work on them and constantly make improvements. Without these comments, you often fail to progress, making the same mistakes over and over again. I would even go as far as saying they are even more pivotal than positive feedback, since the latter only reinforces what you already know instead of alerting you of what still needs to be done. At work, for instance, the benefits of negative feedback compound over time, transforming a novice to a professional